Very funny. Totally laughed. Welcome back to Yoshi's Island. We're at World 4 now, and I guess World 4... What is World 4's theme exactly? I don't actually know. I guess more nostalgia reminders of previous Mario games, except we kind of got a bit of that in World 2. So I really don't know. Maybe the theme is... I'd say the theme is mountains, but that's kind of more of half of World 5's bag, so... I don't know. It's got a nice... You know what? I'd say autumn is probably the theme of World 4. Yeah. I mean, not like there has to be a theme to games, but I'm just wondering what the connection is when it comes to whatever Nintendo does, which is basically anything. Yeah, I've been wondering about the length of my Yoshi videos. I'm like, each Yoshi video is almost about as long as an average Doom level video. So, like, the fact that I have 30 of these is about on par with one of my Doom 2 playthroughs. So I'm just wondering if I've been timing it right, since I only got like a third of it, like, recorded each day, whereabouts, in total elapsed time. Not that it got done in that amount of time exactly, because I have things that happen called life. But yeah, it's been really great. Like, I always wonder how many more videos I can keep doing at a fast rate. Just as fast as I can. I guess the last few weeks has been kind of strange, but I think that pretty much got resolved. And that's because, we're approaching the tax due date in America, so, IRS, all that jazz. Now I just have all these medical things to look forward to. Just one big one, But it's, like, not really, like... I'd say it's like, oh yeah, everyone has medical things. I mean, those things that I have to deal with just personally, that most people would not have to deal with, I would say, is what I think about, as in taking priority. Otherwise, not a whole lot. Probably looking forward to raising a family soon. And then Game Wolf has to, like, create a new generation. Game Wolf plays the next generation, you know what I mean? Not that any child has to do what I do. That is a silly notion, but I like to entertain the idea. It's like, no, Dad, I don't want to play video games when I grow up. And I'm like, who says that? Maybe instead they'll be like, Dad, why don't you get into virtual reality holograms? It's like, I don't know, kid. Or like, Dad, my girlfriend's an AI. You're just gonna have to respect that. And I'll just be like, what? It's like, son, she's not real! Oh, I can't wait to have stupid conversations like that. But chances are it'll be more boring. Not that I won't be ready for it, it's just gonna not really be all that shocking. I don't know. Being on the internet as long as I have, I've seen it all. Well, okay, I haven't seen everything. I've heard of enough. Secondhand, rather. Not experienced enough. So I guess it's more book smarty than anything. But I know enough. Not that I can go inside your head and be like, hey, you want to watch me play Yoshi's Island? Well, here you go, buddy. But you may have noticed a pattern in what I do, and I don't mean because Nintendo does. No. I mean because the connection between what platformers and first-person shooters are like, other than the basics, because, that's pretty necessary. When I go branch off the things you're not familiar with that are still within my bag, I mean. Which should start happening sometime this year after I've gone through most of what I have already done. Should go into Game Boy stuff, and oh shit, I'm on an acid trip! Howdy everybody, this is Game Wolf Plays, and God rains from the skies and gives us his Jesus juice, and what? Yeah, you eat his flesh is bread, and his blood is like wine. That's why they call it Klingon blood wine, because they're drinking their gods from their Klingon Jesus juice. They do kind of have a Jesus, except their Jesus is not biological son, and whatever. Yeah, sometimes I remind myself of my Christian background, but I also don't take it too seriously. Now I just treat it as if it was like another time, or rather, like, you know, I don't take it to heart, but I remember all the stuff associated with it, which could be handy in social situations, but not really. I mean, it's safe to say I can probably reasonably say that Christianity got me to existence. But I think I owe more of my existence to computers, ergo video games, because their performance art. Cogito ergo Gaming Wolf, so I think therefore something. I'm trying to make that into some kind of wordplay and clearly failing because I didn't study that much Latin. But I think you got the gist. Wigglers in the past were butterflies instead of larvae, which means they can still get... Oh yeah, angry flying wigglers are the worst. Oh man. Actually, in some Mario World mods, they use these flying butterfly wigglers, and when they get angry, they just do not stop. Yeah. I guess just reminding Mario of what he's going to grow up to become to be. Otherwise, a very, like I said, a very autumn-oriented place. That is the goal of this place, the place that I goal myself in. Yeah. And honestly, I think I guess the scariest thing now for Gaming Wolf is, how does Gaming Wolf Kids? You might not think that's scary. You think, oh, that sounds like an innocent, wholesome experience. I'm sure if you know the reality of the situation, of how a human develops, you realize how distinctly terrifying that is. And even more so if we're talking about it being someone's child in particular, aka my own. It's like you have to look into a washed-up mirror of you and your love life into a different human being, and you're just like, whoa, I gotta look after that.
What am I doing?
You know? And you think the worst part for me would be, like, dealing with adolescence, right? But honestly, I think the worst part is right when they're newborn. You know, infancy. And this is how we loop around to Yoshi's Island, because I'm talking about taking care of a baby. So yeah, taking care of a baby is honestly the most guilt-complex thing I could think of. Okay? Like, you could just mess it up for life. Purely accidentally, and not know it. And I just think about, by God, you know, I hope future children can forgive me for existing. You know? It's like, oh, but you'll be a great dad! It's like, yeah, probably, but also, I'm still fucking scared. Just because you might agree with me on a moral level doesn't mean I'm not doing damage when I don't mean to, so... Yeah, and it's the same with raising this baby. Like, ideally, you want to get him at maximum health every level. Like with your kid, maximum health every day. Right? I feel like we can bring up a lot of baby stuff when we talk about Yoshi's Island games, since there aren't many Yoshi's Island games to think of. There might... Actually, you know, the other Yoshi game... Well, no, Woolly World isn't really a Yoshi's... I mean, yes, it's a Yoshi game, but it's not a Baby Mario game, right? Right? Right. Lakitus are back in the walls, but they're underground? Like, a cave of Lakitus? Guys, aren't you supposed to be in the sky? What you doing underground? But yeah, that stuff too. It's like, oh no, someone's taking my baby. Or, you know, baby kidnapping, you know. I don't... But I think of less of it when it happens to be someone else's fault, because then I would just get angry. But I mean, like, when it's something I did, because the baby's fragile and I don't want to, like, break it. That's what I worry about. In fact, I think that's the most realistic nightmare I have now. I used to have others, but that turned out to be about my own upbringing, so now it's like, I don't want to repeat the process with someone I don't even know who it is yet, So it's probably going to end up happening, as I'm going to have to find, like, a local community to help me deal with this shit. And that's probably scary in and of itself, because it's like, you want to worry about the influence other people have on you and your families, and influence on my family has been a scalding topic. Because we've all went in different directions, so it's like, I gotta help the never-ending wheel finally stop. perhaps destroy it, make the paradigm no longer exist. Just to have something functioning. I guess. But would that really make anyone feel better? Would it really? Who knows? But that's my story. I'm gonna start an autobiography. How to be gamer dad. How I did it. Yeah. It's only weird because, you know, if I talk about it on, like, people who also play video games on the internet, not a lot of them are talking about being a dad. Okay? And I feel like I have no context for what I'd be doing. Or, at the very least, no support. I think I can figure out the context my own damn self, but that being the part of, like, teaching them. Like, teaching children. That does sound fun. And it's like, you don't need a certificate to teach your own child. It's like, oh, sweet. It's good. Teach them to get 100% on every level. That's right. We're teaching Mario to be the very best who ever was. Each Mario to understand the power that's inside each of their corpses, because we just breed Marios by the millions. They keep dying, but we keep sending them out there as if nothing happened. That's why I wonder what happens when Yoshi loses a life when the baby Mario is kidnapped. Like, does the Yoshi commit seppuku? When he's like, oh no, I've lost the baby. Guess his life is not worth living anymore. So unlike with many, like, theories of how game protagonists kind of just get revived in a never-ending life chamber, how does it apply to when baby Mario is kidnapped? Does, like, the stork send another baby Mario and there's, like, an infinite supply of baby Marios at Bowser's Castle or something? Or Kamek's Castle, I guess. Effectively Bowser's Castle. There's a theory going around about how Bowser would have had a dad also, but yeah. Maybe. What an interesting topic we just had. I really needed to talk about that, though, so Game Wolf Plays is also a channel of therapy and learning and excitement. We get all over that crap. Is it one of politics? Well, the answer is you're trying to answer politics, and you can't. You have to assume what I'm into or support, rather than just try to address the topic itself. We take it one step at a time, just like with everything. Just like how balloon tossing has gone from a 4-button experience to a 5-button experience. And when we get to a 6-button experience, then I can finally be a Street Fighter II Turbo Challenger. At long last, the World Warrior is here. Yoshi Fighter 2. Yeah. Gotta say, this minigame is not really that hard. It just comes a matter to, do you want to hold on to the balloon, or do you want to let the bandit do it for you? And I just let the whole experience go. Considering it's a minigame. I try to do that when I'm doing these playthroughs too, but it often turns into, oh yeah, life. But also, I don't mean like because I have responsibilities. I mean because my physical capacity to keep playing for as long as I have. Like, the implications have finally caught up to me and how much I haven't really gotten to do in all this time. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep harping up about not doing enough video games, as long as you're willing to hear about it. But here's a thing. So what if, like, teaching your baby Mario is like teaching yourself? Autodidactics? What the fuck? Although, really, it's more like teaching yourself stuff that maybe no one's ever learned at all. You know, I gotta go out there and get the new knowledge to bring back to my tribe. Except the knowledge is in the form of digital artifacts, aka old video games that people have left behind and forgot about. I guess you can make a case for that for the more obscure stuff. Obviously, no one's, like, harping on, oh man, that lost artifact Yoshi's on. Now give it, like, a few hundred years. I take video game preservation very seriously, like it's my own baby Mario. Or rather, I would, except the tools to do that are actually quite involved to actually do that. Like, you have to have a bunch of servers and data redundancies to make sure your data is intact. I leave that to whatever association does that, but I want to support said association. Or like, the Internet Archive is a good example of this, because they archive software in games too. And actually, just between you and me, I do actually use them for some of these videos. This is full admission, because, you know, mostly I think it's going to end up being for, like, a lot of those spare Doom CDs that I don't believe you'd be able to get for a number of reasons besides them, you know, violating IP, like, law. So it's like, I imagine they're fair game. Not that they necessarily have to be, but it's also is like, because there's someone else's levels, dude, that you were selling, you asshat. Like, they didn't agree to that compilation. What are you doing? It's like when I see retro game stores have, like, cartridges, but they're ROM hack cartridges, I'm like, what? Like, I don't agree with that. Like, I understand wanting to play on a physical console, but that doesn't mean you should be selling the damn thing. Now, if you want to say you want to sell a blank cartridge for which to put ROM hacks in, then that's fine. But if you're actually selling the ROM hack itself, no strings attached, no boy, that's a string attached for sure. Next time, no strings attached to these platforms, because they're about to blow the fuck up, and they won't come back, and they don't stop coming back, and they won't come back at all ever, sorry.